There are 5 questions hiding underneath your day. Most people will spend their entire lives avoiding them. They'll stay busy enough, comfortable enough, distracted enough, that the questions never get asked out loud. By the time we're done, you'll know which one is yours. Let's start. Question 1. Who are you when no one is watching? You're focused at work. You're charming with new people. You're disciplined in the gym when others are looking. And then you come home, the door closes, and you collapse into the easiest version of yourself. But the version of you that shows up when the room is empty, that version is the real one. That version is what gets quietly built into your nervous system. That version is who you actually become. If you don't recognize that person, the audience version was always a performance. And the alone version is the one you're going to spend the rest of your life with. Question 2. What did you actually build today? You spent 10 hours at the laptop. You answered the emails. You sat through the meetings. You felt the texture of a productive day. And then someone asks what you built, and you can't name it. Busy is a feeling. Productive is an outcome. The most disciplined people I've ever studied work fewer hours than the average person. They just refuse to confuse motion with progress. They ask one ruthless question every morning. What is the one thing that, if I do nothing else, makes today a win? If you can't answer that question by sundown, you didn't have a day. You had a blur. Question 3. Whose priorities are running your day? The text that needs an answer right now. The Slack message marked urgent. The favor someone needs by the end of the day. You drop everything. You feel needed. You feel important. But every interruption you allow is a vote that your work matters less than theirs. Disciplined people are not rude. They are not cold. They simply understand a hard truth. Your time is the only resource you cannot make more of. So they spend it like it's running out. Because it is. Look at your calendar. Look at your last week. Whose priorities won? Yours, or someone else's? Question 4. What are you afraid to start? You watch other people build. You read about other people's wins. You take notes on other people's frameworks. And at the end of the day, your own file is empty. Consumption feels productive because it's adjacent to growth. It looks like the same thing on the surface, but your brain knows the difference. So does your bank account. The world is drowning in observers. It will pay anything for someone who actually does the work. So, what is the thing you keep planning? What is the file you keep almost opening? Start it tonight. Even badly, especially badly. The world has enough perfect plans waiting in drawers. It needs your bad first attempt. Question 5. What would you do if shame did not exist? This is the question most people will never sit with for longer than 10 seconds. If no one in your life would judge you for it. If no one would call you naive, or selfish, or late. If your past did not follow you into the room, what would you actually do? That answer, that is who you were before the world taught you to apologize for yourself. You don't owe anyone the version of you they got used to. Most of the small lives you see around you are not built from incompetence. They are built from quiet shame. From people who knew the answer and chose to keep it small. The question isn't whether shame is rational. The question is what your life looks like the day you stop letting it run the calendar. So, 5 questions. Who are you when no one is watching? What did you actually build today? Whose priorities are running your day? What are you afraid to start? What would you do if shame did not exist? One of them just punched harder than the others. That's the one. That's yours. You don't have to answer it perfectly. You don't have to have a plan. You just have to refuse to look away. Sit with it for a week. Carry it into the morning. Carry it into the meeting. Carry it into the conversation you've been avoiding. Watch what changes. Watch what stops being acceptable. 6 months from now, you won't recognize the person that one question built. But it doesn't start tomorrow. It doesn't start in the journal you might buy. It starts the next time the question rises up in your chest, and you almost push it back down, and you choose, instead, to listen. That moment is the entire game. If this hit, subscribe. New videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We're building something quiet here, something that compounds, and we'd love to have you climb with us. I'll see you in the next one.